Hey guys, welcome to Yellow Yoga. My name is Kelly and I'll be your guide. Today's practice is inspired by the element of earth, which means we're going to be doing a lot of grounding today. And what is that going to give us? It's going to give us a greater sense of stability, a better sense of peace and calm, so that we can better handle whatever life throws our way. So as far as our body, our physical body, we're going to be working on some stability in the core. To start with, we're definitely going to feel a bit of a burn in the shoulders, so I encourage you to stick through those grounding exercises through the hands. And then we'll move into a bit of grounding through the legs, so you're definitely going to feel something in your legs, as well as the booty. We're going to work the glutes a little bit today too. And then of course, there's going to be balancing postures in there as well. So it's a very dynamic, kind of full body experience as we ground into the earth today. All right, I'm really excited. I hope you are too. Let's get started. We'll start today's practice in child's pose. So go ahead and make your way down to the mat. Spread the knees wide, sit the hips back to the heels, stretch the hands out toward the front of the mat, and breathe. Okay, slowly, let's come out of our child's pose and come into a tabletop position. Hands and knees connecting with the earth. Backs of the feet on the mat for now. And before we go into any movement from here, let's take a second to really establish a strong connection. Actively push away from the earth with the hands. Like if you push hard enough, you could push the earth down away from you. Create lots of space in the upper back body, creating space between the shoulder blades. Now, when that feels good, see if you can take some pressure off the upper body by doing the same exercise with the legs and feet, pushing the earth away. Tuck the toes now, keep the foundation strong, and on an inhale, lift the knees just a couple inches off the earth to hover and breathe. We'll take 4 big breaths here. Keep pushing away from the earth with the hands. Slowly lower both knees down to the earth. Spread the knees wide. Sink the hips back for child's pose. And we rest and we ground. Let the earth rejuvenate us. Let's come back up to a tabletop position. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, backs of the feet pressing into the earth. Find your foundation once more. Find that stability. Now send the right leg out straight behind you. Keep the right toes touching the earth for support. Keeping your hips fully squared to the earth. Push into the earth with your hands and your left shin, slowly taking any weight off the right foot. Find your balance, find your center. Now when you're ready, use your core to slowly lift your right leg, forming a straight line from crown to foot, and breathe. Keep the tailbone tucked down. Continue to push through the hands, pushing the earth away. Now for the next couple of breaths, we're going to lift on our inhale and lower on our exhale, keeping our right leg straight. So let's take one big inhale in and exhale. Keep the core engaged, lower the right toes down to the mat. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, lower down to the mat. And keep it going here on your own. Keep your hips square to the earth, tailbone tucked, pushing through the hands. All right, slowly come back to tabletop position. Spread the knees wide, sink the hips back, child's pose. When you're ready, slowly make your way back up to tabletop. Find your foundation once again. Toes untucked, backs of the feet on the earth. This time we'll send the left leg out straight behind you, keeping the left toes touching the earth. Hips are once again square. Now engage the core and slowly, by grounding through your other limbs, take your weight off your left foot. When you're ready, use your core to slowly lift your left leg off the ground, forming a straight line from crown to foot. And breathe. Now, just like we did on the other side, we're going to lift on our inhale and lower on our exhale. So let's take one big inhale in and exhale. Keep the core engaged, lower the right toes down to the mat. Inhale, lift the leg up, and exhale, lower down to the mat. And keep it going here on your own. Come back into a tabletop position, and this time we'll rejuvenate in puppy pose. Keep the hips over the knees and walk your fingertips forward, bringing your chest toward the mat, tailbone shining up toward the sky. And we'll take a couple of breaths here. When you're ready, slowly drop the elbows to connect to the mat and bring the hips forward and down to the mat for Sphinx pose. In Sphinx pose, shoulders are above the elbows. Forearms are forming two parallel lines pointing toward the front of the mat. Legs are stretched out long, forming two parallel lines toward the back of the mat. And just like we did in tabletop position, we're engaging the core and pressing away from the earth in this active Sphinx pose. On an exhale, bring the hands underneath the shoulders and release the upper body down to the earth. On your inhale, tuck the toes, engage the core, push up to plank pose. And exhale, send the hips high and back to downward facing dog and breathe. Pedal it out here, find some soft movement. Let's take one big breath in all together here. And exhale, let it all out. Inhale, ground through the left heel, lift the right leg all the way up to the sky. And exhale, plant the right foot between the hands. Inhale, find length from the crown of the head all the way to the back foot. And exhale, drop the left knee to the earth, untuck the left toes. Inhale, ground through the left leg and sweep the hands forward and up to the sky for low crescent lunge, and breathe. Now from here, I encourage you to check in with yourself and take any variation of low lunge that might serve you today. Maybe you work in a twist. Maybe you lift the back foot for a little quad stretch. Maybe you simply stay in this grounded and firm low lunge. The world is your oyster. Have a little fun here. All right, let's come out of whatever variation we were in, and we'll come back to our simple low crescent lunge. And from here, we'll slowly make our way back to downward dog the same way we came into it. So we'll take one big inhale here, and exhale, bring the hands down to the mat to frame the right foot. Inhale, tuck the toes, lift the back knee, find length through the spine. And exhale, send the right foot back to meet the left, hips high, downward facing dog, and breathe. And we'll take it to the other side now. Inhale, ground through the right heel, lift the left leg up to the sky. And exhale, plant the left foot between the hands. Inhale, find length from the crown of the head through the back foot. And exhale, drop the right knee to the earth, untuck the right toes. Inhale, ground through the right leg and sweep the hands forward and up to the sky for low lunge, and breathe. Once again, on this side, take any variation that might serve you. Maybe simply balance out both sides, whatever you did on the other side. See if you can do something similar here. Now slowly come out of whatever variation you're in, and we'll come back to a simple low crescent lunge. Let's take one big inhale here, big breath in, and exhale, bring the hands down to the mat to frame the left foot. Inhale, tuck the toes, lift the back knee, find length through the spine. And exhale, send the left foot back to meet the right, hips high, downward facing dog, and breathe. Now very, very slowly and mindfully, with as many breaths as we need, we'll walk our feet to the front of the mat, noticing the sensation of our feet on the mat with each step, and we'll meet in forward fold. Once you get to forward folds, find some soft movement, maybe swaying a bit side to side, and then find stillness. Now, just like we did in tabletop position, we're going to bring extra attention to the feet. Maybe lift the toes off the ground and mindfully place them back on the earth. Now, ground through all four corners of your feet. Inhale, big breath in, and exhale, push down through the earth, through all four corners of your feet to roll yourself all the way to standing, root to rise. When you get there, inhale, sweep the hands all the way up to the sky for a slight back bend, gaze up. And exhale, bring the hands down to your sides, mountain pose. Take one big breath in here, and exhale, let it all out. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up to the sky, slight back bend, gaze up. And exhale, hinge forward at the hips and swan dive the hands all the way back down to the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find a flat back. And exhale, let it all go, forward fold. From here, we'll move into chair pose. Bend the knees slightly, sink the hips back, and on an inhale, ground through the feet, root to rise, lift the arms toward the sky, find your chair pose, and breathe. Knees are behind the toes, hips are back, tailbone is tucked down, biceps are by the ears, hands up to the sky, shoulders are dropping away from the ears. Now, just like we did in tabletop, see if you can keep the hips and body position exactly where it is as you slowly ground through your left foot, push your left foot into the earth, and lift your right heel off the ground so the toes of your right foot are only slightly touching the earth. Take one big inhale here, big breath in, and exhale, let it go. Inhale, ground through the left foot, straighten your left leg, keep your right leg bent for one-legged mountain pose, and breathe. Left leg is straight, right leg is bent 90 degrees. And we'll slowly make our way back to chair pose, bending the left leg, sinking the hips back, bringing the right foot to the earth beside the left. Inhale here, big breath in, and exhale, let it go. In chair pose now, ground through the right foot until you're no longer resting any weight on your left. On your next inhale, ground through your right to come all the way up to that one-legged mountain pose, and breathe. Your right leg is straight. Your left leg is now bent 90 degrees in front of you. For the next couple breaths, ground and flow on your own. Inhaling to bring you up to one-legged mountain pose. Exhaling to bring you down to chair. Inhaling to bring you up on the other side, and so on. Wherever you are, let's mindfully make our way into mountain pose at the front of our mat, both feet on the ground, standing tall and straight. As we move forward through our practice today, remember what it means to ground, to draw energy and balance by pushing against the earth. It's that connection to the earth that brings us strength and balance. In mountain pose, bring your hands together in prayer, thumbs to heart center. Ground through your left foot. Now start to hinge forward at the hips, bringing your torso parallel to the earth toward the front of the mat. Your right leg parallel to the earth toward the back of the mat for Warrior 3. Keep your hips square to the earth here. If it helps, you may want to flex your back foot and point your toes toward the earth to make sure your hips are square. And we're going to hold Warrior 3 for about a minute. Feel free to take any variation of the arms that feels good for you. Don't be afraid to try something new. If you fall out, you can always jump right back in. Although I do recommend you slowly find your way back to Warrior 3. And that leaves about 45 seconds for you to connect to your breath and the earth. Okay, from Warrior 3 here, we'll hinge at the hips to bring ourselves back to standing. And we're actually going to come straight into one-legged mountain pose. Right leg is lifted and bent 90 degrees in front of us. Once you're there, we'll recover from our Warrior 3 pose by taking tree pose. So go ahead and grab that right foot and place it on the inside of your left thigh. If it's more comfortable for you, you can place it just below your left knee. And we'll take tree pose for about a minute. Once again, choose whatever arm variation suits you today. It can be a V overhead, maybe hands in prayer at the heart center. I'll leave you to focus, ground, and rejuvenate on your own in tree pose. Let's slowly come out of tree pose into mountain pose again. Take a couple seconds to find your footing in mountain. And let's inhale all together, sweep the hands forward and up to the sky, slight back bend. And exhale, hinge at the hips, hands all the way down to the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, let it go all the way down to forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, find chair pose again on this, same side, it's just chair pose, and breathe. Now for the next 30 seconds, you can hold your chair pose, or if you'd like, you can practice grounding through one foot and then the other, just like we did earlier. Inhaling to bring you up into that one-legged mountain, and exhaling to bring you back down to chair. If you need a break at any point, you can rest in forward fold, and then root to rise, right back up to chair position. I'll let you enjoy. Wherever you are, mindfully make your way into mountain pose at the front of your mat. And we'll even it out here and practice grounding on the other side. In mountain pose, bring your hands together in prayer, thumbs to heart center, ground through your right foot. Now start to hinge forward at your hips, painting the mat with your left foot as you bring the left foot behind you to form a parallel line with your mat for Warrior 3. We'll hold Warrior 3 for about a minute. Again, feel free to take any variation of the arms that feels good for you, and breathe. From Warrior 3 here, we'll hinge at the hips, to bring ourselves back to standing and straight into our one-legged mountain pose with the left leg lifted, left knee bent 90 degrees in front of us. And whenever you're ready, start to find your tree pose on this side. And just like we did on the other side, we'll take about 60 seconds here to find peace and stability in tree. Slowly come out of your tree pose and into mountain pose. Feet on the mat, hands at your sides. Bring the feet a little wider than hip width apart, toes facing the top right corners of the mat. Now bring your hands into prayer at your heart center, and you probably guessed it, we're slowly going to sink the hips all the way down toward the mat into a yogi squat. Heels on the ground, hands in prayer at the heart, elbows lightly pressing against the inner knees. If your heels don't touch the ground, don't worry. You can stay with the heels lifted. You might even choose to have the heels lifted for a little stretch in different areas of your calves. Find some soft movement here. And when you're ready, lower the butt all the way down to the earth. You can scooch back to the center of your mat and bring the legs out long toward the front of the mat. It's almost time to wind down into corpse pose now. So as always, I'll give you some time on your own to check in and think about what you need today, what your body needs, before you'll be able to completely, comfortably relax in our final pose of the practice. So how about I give you 2 full minutes this time. You can flow with it, you can rejuvenate with it, or you can get a head start in your Shavasana, and we'll meet you there. Enjoy. Wherever you are, even it out if you need to, and then start to wind it down or unwind yourself, depending on where you are, and make your way to Shavasana, corpse pose, lying on your back, legs stretched out long, arms to your sides. And as we lie on the earth here, before we surrender our mind and connect to our spirit, let's just take one moment to send some gratitude into the universe. So maybe pick one thing you're grateful for, one thing, one person, one memory, a part of yourself, whatever it might be, and send all your love, all your gratitude in its direction or in their direction. And then once you've given all your love and all your gratitude, surrender your mind and connect to your breath, connect to your spirit. You are not your mind. You are only observing your mind. As always, I encourage you to remain in Shavasana for as long as you can to reap the benefits of the practice today. Thank you for listening. I wish you peace and light and love and all the good things. From my heart to yours, namaste.